Welcome back, welcome back. Shout out to my new subscribers. I really appreciate you and thank y'all. I am battling this cold. Oh my God. I ain't taken medicine for 2 days, but it's right here. Um, so shout out again to my new subscribers. We're gonna be doing a cash giveaway for Christmas. That's what we're gonna be doing. Um, and I really appreciate y'all. You want the key now? Hold on, let me get this key off. Oh. All right, so let's get into it. So the Hoovers and Lady Duck. The Hoovers is a street gang in L.A. and they were indicted for sex trafficking minors, some as young as 13 and 14 years old, which is a damn shame. But they was caught. They about to do all day if these charges stick, and so they was also charged with a RICO. Hush. 11 alleged members of the street gang based in Los Angeles are facing federal racketeering and other charges for their roles in a suspected prostitution and sex trafficking ring. Members of the Hoover criminal gang are accused of forcing girls and women into prostitution on Figueroa Corridor of Los Angeles, resulting in a 31 count federal indictment, the U.S. Department of Justice said. And this is Lady Duck. She 25 years old. Most of these people are in their 20s and they about to do all day. Amaya Armstead, aka Lady Duck, is a leader of the set of the Hoover criminal gang, said the DOJ. All 11 listed below face a count of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organization Act, otherwise known as RICO. Amaya Armstead, 25. She is the case lead defendant and the de facto leader of the 112. She gonna do all day. She getting life. And she is accused of sex trafficking a 14-year-old girl. Keandre Young, 22. Nizee Harris, 19. Avery Amoka, 27. Gerald Evans, 29. Matthew Brooks, 22. Darrell Robinson, 22. Jalen Phillips, 22. Brian Israel, 31. DeJohn Gray, 25. Tommy Crocombe, 30. The indictment also includes allegations of other crimes: sex trafficking of minors, sex trafficking through force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor for sex trafficking, sexual exploitation of a child, drug trafficking conspiracy, money laundering to promote specified unlawful activity, conspiracy to straw purchase firearms. Some of these sex trafficking victims were runaways or in the foster care system, and they were recruited through social media, then branded with tattoos of gang members' names. So this is one tattoo that they showing, and that's this Lady Duck, and that looks like that's on her side. Well, that's proof that she did it. Number one, all alleged victim of Lady Duck was all alleged victims of Lady Duck was tattooed with the gang leader's nickname as shown in the photo. The exploitation of vulnerable women and children through sex trafficking is one of the most heinous crimes our society faces. The victims in this case, many of the minors, runaways, or from foster care, were preyed upon by individuals who sought profit from their pain. Despite false promises of a luxurious lifestyle, the women and girls were instead plied with drugs ranging from oxycodone to amphetamines, threatened with violence, and pimped out. One girl was as young as 14 years old. Victims were required to remit all proceeds from commercial sex dates to the pimp. A victim who refused or who otherwise disobeyed a pimp faced discipline, including assaults, berating, public humiliation, and withholding of affection, drugs, or food. Victims also were branded with tattoos of their abuser's name. Human trafficking is among one of the most heinous crimes perpetrated throughout the world. No human should be for sale, not here in Los Angeles or anywhere in our society. Omoko, Evans, Brooks, Phillips, and Cocker were arrested. Armistead was transferred from state custody to federal custody, and investigators are still looking for Israel. If convicted, they face a minimum of 15 years in prison and a maximum sentence of life. This is awful. But here we go. And they got on smack. This is Compton Rick Rock. I love him. Let me go past it.
From back on Fig and things that he possibly said that could have gotten people to think that he helped.
And they talking about smack from back on Fig.
There was a release of Smack on the radio station. Y'all know they got that deal where they go on the radio station every so often. And in this conversation, he had a talk or discussion with the mayor about cleaning up Fig.
So what they saying is that this video that I'm playing is about Smack, who had a meeting with the mayor, who changed his life around, and asking how you gonna clean up Figueroa, because for years that's the haven for prostitution for the women, and that's what this video is about.
The fact that it was underage girls out there on Figueroa. Check it out.
Grew up on 51st and Figueroa, right? What is we gonna do about the prostitution out there and these kids walking Figueroa?
So-
Your kids gotta go to school and see this.
So let me just tell you, that's an issue that when we started in the 90s, we were dealing with.
Ooh, man, that's like somebody said, telling the mayor, what are we going to do about the crack house that's around the corner and they serving rocks out there 24/7 and the kids got to go to school and see the homie with the lolos outside selling rocks. It's almost, that's what it sounds like.
With as well. The difference is that the women, there were women that were on the streets then. Now they're girls that are on the streets. Almost across the board, the girls are from the foster care system. So foster girls are
They go to
prime
see.
victims because they don't have the family support that would never allow them to be pulled that way, and especially foster girls.
So there you have it.
Hold on, we're going to say this, yeah. We don't agree with the kids being out there. Now, if a grown woman want to get out there and do her thing, that's on her, man. She's an adult, and, I ain't going to never tell nobody how to get their money, but the kids is out there. But do y'all feel like that Smack place, what I'm saying, is he still I don't know if he's still in the streets or not, but do y'all feel by him being the street guy, he should be sitting down with the mayor discussing that? Now, everybody, some people will say, well, yeah, he's supposed to discuss
Yeah,
that.
that's his
Kids out there,
neighborhood,
he's doing what
right.
he's supposed to do it. It take a lot of courage and heart to get out there and do that. So it could go both ways, man. That's for y'all to decide in the chat. Let me know what y'all think.
Smack said what he said. It is what it is. Now, people that went and grabbed that small clip, him asking about what we're going to do about the girls that's out on Figueroa. I got to walk my kids by there going to school. I grew up in that area. And, you know what I mean? Now we got young girls out there. Now, let me start by saying this, though. I don't agree with pimping. I just don't agree with it. I got daughters. But it happens, and it goes on. In some of the situations, the girls want to do that because they want to get money. I'm not saying that they want to get beat on. I'm not saying that they want to get slapped around. I ain't saying none of that. But in a lot of instances, a lot of times the girls actually want to get out there and get the money. Now, some of the girls is out there renegade. They out there, they don't have a pimp. They just out there. So we can't say that those girls were coerced or manipulated into
Right.
doing this things that they're out there doing to get.
Yeah, it is a whole lot of them out there on their own. You know, they see the stuff on Instagram, on social media. They see other females with their hair done, nice clothes, and, you know, driving nice cars. And, you know, a lot of them do what they got to do to get it. So they try to, you know, do what they see their big sisters, maybe their mother, their aunties doing. And they say, you know what, I want to be grown. I want my own spot, too. I want to have the finer things in life. They run away from home, and some of them just go find their way over there.
Get money. But for the girls that's out there, first and foremost, that's underage, I definitely don't agree with that. I feel as though if anybody is engaging in anything with a minor, you should be held accountable for that. I'm gonna speak for real,
Absolutely.
man. I'm not saying that you
Absolutely.
should go to jail. I'm not saying that you should be arrested. I'm saying somebody, a father, a cousin, an uncle, should
You already know what should happen. You already know. Yes, you're absolutely right where you're going with it.
come out there and beat the dog shit out of you for having that young girl out there on the strip doing what
Facts.
y'all got her doing. First and foremost.
Facts.
And a lot of these girls, as we've seen in the indictment, come from situations where they coming out of foster homes. So there are a lot of runaway girls. It's no different than like the girl Tania's daughter. You know what I mean? She was a runaway. She was in, you know, the state care, whatever, and she was out there on the strip or whatever. And her mom really ain't made the situation no better for her either. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I
And
saw
I'm gonna be
certain shit
showing
that her said
Tania
she
and
didn't
her
want her to do
mama.
certain stuff because they was.
Facts. This Nina boy, I love him and Compton McRock. And I love the beginning of his outro, his intro. I love his intro.
A young girl organs, a child, because they don't want no old rusty organs and all that. Don't give me that. Hey, listen, the organ trafficking is primarily done through children. You see what I'm
Facts.
saying? That means they
Facts.
take killing, you know, kids and cutting them up and selling their organs. They don't want no 30-year-old organs and all that shit. You over there smoking it, eating sardines and you know, hot water cornbread. They don't want that raggedy ass. Nigga, they want them young people. And just for her to, man, hey, I'm shell shocked. You see what I'm saying? But where was that girl mama at? You see what I'm saying? Where was her mama at? You see what I'm saying? Clearly,
Right.
she didn't come from no love, bro. Organ trafficking? Nah, my nigga, that she did not come from a household. But shit, none of us can. I didn't come from it either. But at the same time, we know better, nigga. We know not to kill our own and cut them up and sell their organs. It's crazy work, bro. That's, you know, this don't have nothing to do with gang shit. With my opinion, is if she out here playing like that, keep her ass in jail. Let's go.
Lady Duck replied, "What she look like?" So that's the type of role they allege Lady Duck is playing in this indictment. But not only is Lady Duck on here, y'all know we got P4K out the Baby Stone Gorillas from BPS. Everything they was saying about dude, the feds are alleging that him and pretty much everybody else was involved in some nasty activity on Fed. Now with the RICO, you know they saying that the Hoovers are an enterprise, a full organization that's running a monopoly on the west side of South Central. And as the feds put it, they are operating from full trade to the one way. But not only do they got the RICO charge, they got the sex trafficking of the minors by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor, sexual exploitation of a minor. They got drug trafficking, money laundering, and they got the firearm purchases stacked up against these dudes. But overall, it's 24 victims, with 8 of them being minors. And what I've seen is ranging from ages 14 to 17.
Yep.
Some crazy work.
Man, let me tell y'all something. You know what's crazy?
It ain't looking good. They gonna get all day.
When I met P4K, man, Tiny Popcorn, man. I mean, with Popcorn, I don't know if he ever Popcorn, Tiny Popcorn, I forgot. I told that nigga, man, I said, when he was a boy, man, you know, he remind me of me, man. He was the same age as my daughter. You see what I'm saying? And, I told him, man, nigga, you got a whole opportunity. Nigga, you want to rap, go be a rapper. You want to go play, well, don't out here nigga, bro. You got a choice. Y'all go look at that shit. I was speaking life into that little nigga. I literally told that nigga, I said, bro, you want to be a rapper? Go be a rapper. Go be a rapper. Ended up, getting grown, he became a rapper. But he just couldn't move forward with life. I mean, I'm talking about he had record labels looking at him, all of that shit. And when I sat back and I watched the little nigga on screen, I was proud of that nigga. Like, dang, man, you know, God is real. You know, all it takes is for a real one to say some real shit to a young one. And look how they blossom. Not saying I had something to do with his life and shit, but just to have that embedded in your mind, homie. Because a lot of people, that little nigga gang. And I see that little dude, look, he reminded me of me so
This is
much, man.
Nina Boy. Oh. Oh, excuse me.
All right, y'all. We back with another reaction right here on ABP
This
Reactions.
is ABP
and this
Reaction.
Is called Hoover Federal Indictment Paperwork. Lady Duck and PK4 Rico Trafficking Enterprise. This is
Order coercion.
Damn.
Transportation. Because you see young folk name, this ain't got nothing to do with the folk that we know that's doing this entertainment shit. With P4K, this got nothing to do with the Baby Stone Gorillas. Like I said, these charges are nothing to play with, so let's not get silly with the internet shit just because you see some familiar names in this indictment. What's being said is that all these defendants helped each other in one way or another in this human trafficking ring, whether it was with the minors or the adults. Everybody played a hand in keeping the grip on the operation. And everybody knows Fig, and we know what hood is on Fig. They said that to operate on Fig, you have to be in good standing with the Hoovers. And they also allege that some people was paying taxes with some of the feet out there. But overall, that fear factor is what the feds are using to glue the Hoovers to a whole enterprise, resulting in this RICO. And the key thing that y'all gotta realize is the same shit every time. Instagram. Not only are these dudes using these music videos, but they using Instagram to prove that.
Look, money pictures on it. That's what they gonna do. That's what they do every time and time again. We have seen the same tactic. They're gonna grab you up for all these charges, and then they're gonna collect all the pictures off your social medias to make it stick and sell it. Like, hey, look at all these guns he had. Look at all this money he had access to. Where does he work? He doesn't have a 9 to 5. How is he getting this much money? He's either flocking, he's pimping, look, he's driving foreign cars. His mother don't even own a foreign car. His family don't own a foreign. They're gonna find ways to sell this shit. And sometimes, not even sometimes, a lot of times, these young niggas make it so easy for them, bro. And that's the fucked up thing. It's like, and I get it. I know y'all want to flex. I know that's the thing, man. Flexing and stunting and all that, but it's like, you can flex and stunt when it's
Okay.
legal, though.
Let's get out of that one. Well, I think I had this 2 times. Let me see. Oh, yup, I had this twice. Okay, here we go.
Today, and that's where federal agents say.
NBC4 has been.
Once again, everyone, I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. Prosecutors say the ring was operating along the Figueroa corridor, which is notorious for prostitution. NBC4 has been following the fight to end the problems there since 2023. NBC4's McCullough Medina just spoke with the feds and a mother who says her daughter was one of the victims.
Well,
Michael, that woman is, or that daughter rather, is Ruthie Smith. We're not quite sure if she's one of the victims. We do know she was 19 years old when her mom says she was actually lured onto that corridor, sex trafficked, and then kidnapped. The agents we talked to today say these arrests from over the last few hours is just the beginning.
It's like a first major step in combating sex trafficking along the Figueroa corridor.
Just 2 miles from where the Olympics will kick off in 3 years, the Figueroa corridor is where the U.S. Attorney's Office says a total of 11 gang members and associates in the notorious Hoover street gang were rounded up and charged with racketeering and sex trafficking today, saying they exploited minors, runaways, and girls in foster care, some as young as middle schoolers.
There was a 14-year-old who was sex trafficked at a motel in South L.A. Over the course of 3 consecutive days.
Agents say the perpetrator was 25-year-old accused gang leader Amaya Armstead, also known as Lady Duck, who used Instagram and TikTok to lure victims.
They use social media. They make
glad you
rap
see
music
that.
videos. So it's much more of a high-tech operation.
Because it's been 3 years and I have yet to know anything about where my baby's at.
Catherine Ernesto has been searching for her daughter Ruthie Smith from Long Beach in the Figueroa corridor since she was lured there for sex trafficking before going missing months later.
Figueroa is a scary place and there's so many unsolved and so many don't know. And my daughter falls into that category of being sex trafficked and don't know.
While the recent arrest did not give Catherine any updates on her daughter's missing case, it does give her hope that police are doing more to fight the problem, but she thinks more needs to be done.
It does.
I want to see law enforcement and people just do more, say more, because these girls matter.
Prosecutors say this gang was notorious. Not only did they lure these victims, they also branded them, brands that you use on cattle on their body to identify them with their pins, according to prosecutors. We are told all those people arrested did get arraigned today. We're still waiting to hear back what their plea was. We know also there's still one person that they're looking for. Live in South LA, I'm Colin Medina, NBC 4 News.
Y'all about to do all day.
Gang members are in federal custody in what law enforcement is calling a major takedown of a vicious sex trafficking ring.
Investigators say the suspects used social media and music videos to young women, children in foster care. KTLA's Lindsay Pena live in Wood with more on the story. Lindsay.
Yeah, Sharon, Micah, 5 of those defendants were already in court this afternoon, pleading not guilty to the charges against them. Earlier, when we spoke to the U.S. attorney here at the federal building in Westwood, he said when they served the arrest warrants this morning, they discovered 4 sex trafficking victims, one of them a minor.
Wow.
These are photos of some of the 11 alleged members or associates of the South Los Angeles-based Hoover Street Gang, who are now in federal custody on a long list of charges that include racketeering, sex trafficking, drug and firearms-related crimes, and money laundering. Sky 5 was overhead as arrests were being made at a motel early Wednesday morning.
They were branding these young women. They were raping them.
That's it, slutty that.
Drugging them, just horrific acts.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley saying many times the gang recruited victims through social media.
This Hoover gang, they portray a lifestyle of wealth, of power, of violence, and they use that to actually lure women into that lifestyle. They think it's going to be glamorous.
A 31-count indictment details the years-long case against the defendants who allegedly operated in the Figueroa corridor, known as a human trafficking hotbed.
The lead defendant is a woman. She goes by Lady Duck, and she was out there recruiting these young women, children as young as 15 years old, into sex trafficking and really selling other humans. It's the worst kind of crime out there.
According to the indictment, at one point, a 14-year-old girl was trafficked for at least 3 days in a row at a South LA motel. The U.S. attorney says the case against the gang members is a strong one, with many criminal acts being documented on various social media accounts.
A lot of these girls came from the foster system. They're preying on people who are vulnerable, who don't have maybe families or runaways, and so we try to get them services and try to help them.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says trial is scheduled for October 7th for some of these defendants, and while most of them are in custody, one is still outstanding.
Oh, I should have.
Brian Israel. If all of these defendants are convicted on the charges against them.
Oh, I should have held this for a few more days to get the update. God, dog, I forgot it was October 7th they go to trial. Let me see.
Sky 5 was overhead as arrests were being made at a motel early Wednesday morning.
They were branding these young women.
Wait a minute, I said that, but this is her saying. Wait a minute.
Helping orchestrate both multi-county burglary crews and
D-Doc, and she was out.
Okay, we saw that. These are the ones that was indicted. But these are the gang members on their Instagram. And they so young, they done throw all their lives away.
the Hoover criminals, also known as the Hoover Crips or simply the Hoovers, are one of Los Angeles' most notorious street gangs, with roots going back to the late 1960s. They originated in South Central Los Angeles, taking their name from Hoover Street, a major thoroughfare that runs through the heart of their territory. In their earliest days, they were known as the Hoover Groovers, a neighborhood clique that was not initially part of the Crips or Bloods. By the early 1970s, however, they had joined the rapidly growing Crips Alliance, which united numerous African American street gangs under a single banner. The gang expanded quickly, forming numbered sets such as the 5 Deuce, 5-9, 7-4, 8 Trade, 9 Deuce, 9-4, 10-7, and 112 Hoovers, with the number numbers corresponding to the streets or blocks they claimed. By the 1980s, the Hoovers experienced a major identity shift. Internal tensions and violent feuds, most notably with the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips, led many Hoover sets to drop the Crip label entirely and begin calling themselves the Hoover Criminals or Hoover Criminal Gang. This name change signaled their independence from the larger Crip identity and marked them as a
I didn't know they
standalone
was
force in
Crips.
Los Angeles' gang landscape. The move also reflected a broader trend of Crip-on-Crip violence, in which former allies turned into bitter rivals. Despite this split, the Hoovers maintained their territorial presence and expanded their criminal enterprises. From the late 1980s into the 1990s, the Hoovers developed a reputation for extreme violence and organized criminal activity. They controlled key sections of South Central Los Angeles, but migration and expansion brought their presence to other cities such as Houston, Texas, and Portland, Oregon. Their criminal portfolio included drug trafficking, robberies, home invasions, extortion, and deletion. Law enforcement efforts to dismantle the gang included large-scale LAPD and federal task force operations during the height of the war on gangs. But these efforts failed to eradicate them entirely. By the 2000s and 2010s, the Hoover criminals had adapted to shifting law enforcement tactics and changes in the street economy. Their various sets operate with semi-independence, but they remain united by the Hoover criminal identity, colors, and culture. Even after decades of arrests, indictments, and high-profile crackdowns, the Hoover criminals continue to be one of the most feared and resilient gangs in Los Angeles, with influence that extends far beyond the city's borders.
Alright, what? Alright, I hope you got the same person. You this in the city. ACT this on the set. Nice on it. Nice on it. This in the set.
The alleged ringleader,
Now that was Lady Duck.
Maya Armstead, who goes by Lady Duck. Prosecutors say she and her co-defendants acted as pimps, using social media to recruit vulnerable teens and young adults, then controlling them through violence, drugs, and intimidation. According to the indictment, victims who disobeyed were assaulted, humiliated, they were denied food or drugs, and in some cases, branded with tattoos of their traffickers' street names.
Agents say the perpetrator was 25-year-old accused gang leader Amaya Armstead, also known as Lady Duck, who used Instagram and TikTok to lure victims.
Lady Duck of the Hoovers. From burglary rings to federal gang indictment. At just 25 years old, Amaya Armstead, better known on the streets as Lady Duck or Lady Duck Down, has risen to an unusually high rank within the 11 Deuce Hoover criminals, one of Los Angeles' most violent and entrenched street gangs. Federal authorities now allege she is not merely a participant, but a driving force, a young woman calling shots in a gang world still dominated by men. They accuse her of orchestrating criminal enterprises that include RICO conspiracy and the pimping of a minor, crimes that elevate her from a known burglary crew member to a central figure in a sprawling investigation into the Hoover criminal gang's operations. Before the current federal case, Lady Duck had already made a name for herself in law enforcement circles. She was charged in a large-scale burglary ring that spanned multiple counties and even crossed state lines. According to the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, she was among 9 defendants accused of carrying out over 55 home burglaries between January and May of that year. The crimes were concentrated in upscale neighborhoods like Mira Mesa, Carmel Valley, and Rancho Penasquitos, but also extended into Riverside County, Los Angeles County, and as far as Las Vegas, Nevada. Prosecutors described the operation as highly organized and targeted, with crews wearing masks and gloves, breaking in through back doors, and going straight for cash, jewelry, and luxury handbags. Some burglaries occurred while homeowners, including families with small children, were present.
Wow.
This was a sophisticated operation that required extraordinary teamwork, Deputy District Attorney Malik Berouz-Nami, emphasizing that the crew traveled specifically to hit San Diego County residences. While Lady Duck was already staring down decades in prison for the San Diego burglaries. Federal prosecutors soon painted an even more alarming picture of her criminal role. They alleged she had moved beyond property crime into the Hoover gang operations, not just participating, but taking on a leadership role in the 11 Deuce Hoover criminal gang despite her youth. The latest indictment ties her to the pimping of a minor, a charge that carries severe penalties under federal law and further cements her image as a young gang figure running the show. These new allegations suggest that Lady Duck's influence extended well beyond sex and burglary, positioning her as a broker in one of Los Angeles' most gangs. For law enforcement, her case represents the convergence of two persistent public safety threats.
Fact, she doing life. She gonna get life
Affluent neighborhoods across Southern
at
California
25.
and organized street gangs that profit from human exploitation. If convicted on the RICO and trafficking charges, Lady Duck could face decades to life in federal prison, a
Facts.
stunning trajectory for someone so young, and a case that now stands as one of the most high-profile examples of a female leader emerging in the violent, male-dominated ranks of the Hoover criminals.
Disturbing sex trafficking bust. Several suspected gang members arrested, accused of forcing young girls into prostitution.
11 alleged gang members, including 6 leaders of the Hoover criminal street gang, now indicted on these really disturbing charges. Take a look at some video. These are images that were mentioned in the indictment, things that they posted to social media. Prosecutors say the gang recruited girls as young as 14 years old, many of them runaways or kids
That's
from the foster care
PK4.
system. Along a 3.5-mile section of Figueroa Street in South LA, known as the Figueroa Corridor, and they've been in control from February of 2021 until now.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says a total of 11 gang members and associates in the notorious Hoover Street gang were rounded up and charged with racketeering and trafficking today, saying they exploited minors, runaways, and girls in foster care, some as young as middle schoolers.
Federal and local law enforcement authorities have arrested 6 members and associates of the South Los Angeles-based Hoover criminal gang in connection with a sweeping 31-count federal indictment. The charges include racketeering conspiracy,
Well, we know that.
and adults through 4. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Esseley emphasized that federal intervention was necessary to ensure these.
Yeah, she gonna get all day. And it's sad. Alright, I'm not gonna play that. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna get to this part. This here is, she 15 now, but she started on Figueroa at 13. And I can't play the video. I think because it got music. But I can show y'all. I ain't got to play. This her at 13. Out there. Damn. Let me delete that. This her mama. That's her mama. I'm gonna play excerpts of this video. And her mama went to a Diddy party.
Nova and Tania. Welcome back, you guys.
Hey, Mark.
So lots has happened. You guys have been through a lot since last time you were sitting in these chairs.
Yes.
Tania, you've been in New York, right?
Yes, I just
Me
came
too.
back.
Yeah.
And you have a baby.
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is King.
King.
Yeah. I just came back from New York literally a few days ago. And I was only out there because of this one.
But you didn't stay in New York. Did you know that?
I went out there, the first time I went out there with my cousin, and then we went to jail. And then I was in jail for a month, and then after that, I came back out here for like 2 weeks, and then I went back.
Now she's 15.
But that's another story.
No,
Yeah, she wasn't answering the phone.
Are you guys getting along?
Yeah.
We're getting along. I mean, so much better because I just said, you know what? I took accountability, first of all, because I just started to notice, like, why are you like this? Is it really me? And I just was like, you know what? I have, like, the way that I teach my kids, I could tell by my 5-year-old, I do mature them a little bit older because
what we be going
through, I want them to be aware of everything, you know? I would rather me tell them things first or just, and I realized, like, maybe I got these kids in survival mode. I don't know. I think so. I'm always saying be tough, keep it going, you know, don't express yourself to nobody. Whatever you want, you can get, all of that type of stuff. And, you know, Nova, Nene, I call her Nene.
Mom, don't do all that.
She takes it to a whole nother level. But you say you like when I call you Nene.
No, they did. People gonna be calling me Nene.
Oh my
You know, she
God.
wants to do everything, but I just came to the conclusion, like, you know, let her be herself because when I left, baby, she was really maturing, like, her YouTube. Yeah, when I left, like, it's like you were able to be yourself. And I'm like, oh, so this is what she wanted me to do. Let her literally be. And
She didn't expect you to let her be a hoe on Figueroa. She didn't expect that.
So why you go? Why you think they like you so much?
Cause my story and cause I'm strong.
And you
See,
real,
like,
like,
I keep going.
you
That's why they watch me for real, Mom. They be like, I watch you cause you make me keep going because I see how you know.
But what makes you keep going now?
God.
So you literally be like, God.
No, I be praying to God, literally, Mom. You know how it is. Like, you know when you feeling weak, you pray to God, and then you get that back. Or even when I be having to talk to you sometimes.
And I think you're just fearless. I think whoever you've been around, they got you. I mean, you know, whoever, like a girl, friends, guy friends, whatever. It's like you just so strong. Like you do stuff I never would have did. Like you couldn't pay me to do it.
How old are you now?
15.
15. Are you going to school?
No, I started school in August.
Have you still been working on the streets? Or motels or hotels or anything? You're not doing sex work?
No.
You're not selling videos?
No.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I've been selling.
You have to stop.
No, I've been stopping though because they keep deleting my Instagrams for child pornography, so I just stopped.
They don't make websites, my baby,
They got
and I don't like that. It's like
OnlyFans, all types of stuff.
Like it's crazy.
How do you think Nova got this way, Anthony?
It wasn't me. I'm gonna take accountability. This is what I feel like I motivated her to be. Just this woman.
Okay, let me tell you. So what it was, it's not technically my mom that made me like this, but you know how I'm like, you know, smart and mature and all that. She made me mature because the things she was telling me and, you know, showing me. But like,
what was I showing?
As in me, like, you know, being a prostitute and all that. She didn't show me that. Like, she didn't show me that because if that was the case, y'all be seeing her prostituting too. She not even doing none of that. She just taught me how to be mature and, you know, how to hold myself up. You know?
But your mom was getting money from men.
Yeah, but she wasn't fucking
not necessarily doing that, but you did kind of put two and two together.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody gets money from men. Like, if you're a pretty girl, you're gonna get money from men.
I know what you did see. You used to be like, Mom, why is everybody so nice to you? Remember you used to say that? Like, everybody is nice to you. They're, like, I feel like she's seen me get favored a lot, you know? And she was wondering, like, so she wants that. Like, my mom could get this. My mom got this type of car.
But I just got introduced to it in a different way. Like,
Soft White Underbelly is about giving people a space to tell their stories, even when these stories challenge what we think we know. Ground News shows us different perspectives in the media, which is why Ground News is a perfect sponsor for my channel. In a world where algorithms censor much of the information we receive, some of the most important stories get missed from our news feeds. Ground News highlights local news from around the world, giving you an on-the-ground perspective that national coverage might miss. The app and website empowers you to form your own opinions by presenting you with every article published on any news story worldwide. My favorite part of the app is the data it gives you on each news source as you read it, such as where it leans on the political spectrum, a factuality rating indicating how subjective their printed reporting tends to be, and who funds it. I particularly like their blind spot feed, dedicated to showing you news stories that are underrepresented in the mainstream media. You can check this all out by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link below. It's easy to forget how much bias can shape the reality we live in. And in a world where our attention is constantly being fought over, my Vantage plan easily helps me keep up with more important stories slipping through the cracks. So I encourage you to check them out at ground.news/SWU. Subscribe through my link or download the mobile app and enter promo code SWU to save 40% off their Vantage plan. And by subscribing or even gifting it to someone you know, you're helping hold the media accountable and helping my channel directly. Thank you for watching.
My mom didn't tell me like, oh yeah, go stand on the corner. No, the story I told in my first interview, that's how, I got introduced to that. I already went out there, mature and knowing and being aware because of what my mom taught me. But the whole process stuff, it don't really got nothing to do with her.
And it was believable. Like, I feel like people don't, they always say, is she really
That is
that
soft
age?
white
Because
underbelly.
you have a conversation with her, even though she's young.
But she was out there on Figueroa. Y'all go check that out, soft white underbelly. Now, this is Who's Who. I love him. He locked up.
Hey man, tapping on the who's who's, man. We going crazy on L's. Look, you already know, GM. I'm not here to start none. I don't want no problems. I don't want to deal with none of that. People calling the feds, doing all this, none of that. Look, today though, homie, I told him, and I don't even, you know what I'm saying, do this, but I said, look, it's about LA. I see it. There's bad people's involved. 14s, 13s, 16s, dead homies. I told people personally. I'm not saying that nobody did nothing wrong or none of that. But I said I'm seeing things, so it's a part of my life. I just seen somebody on the news, and then I heard 14-year-old dead homies. I just seen the videos, some crazy shit. Look, please, I'm not. All I'ma say is this.
He locked up. That's his cell.
About what happens, what could happen if you know what I'm saying, when you come to the pen, no matter who you is, them type of people's type of charges, no matter if you did it or not, on the hood. Look, I see people on the news with minors, Damo. Let me explain this to you though. If you get marked out, you turn out a fade, you a Zark. If you pimp on somebody, niece and nephew that's young, 14, all that shit, you way below a Zark. It ain't even bad peoples no more. You deserve, you supposed to be condemned. Bad homies. You bad. You said what? Yo. Yeah, you got it? Look, gang. People, where's that? Oh, else. They're looking out. Whoa. Look. I'ma let you know. 109 Street Riders, I'ma let you know without letting you know. On everything I stand for. You pimp on some 12-year-old, 13, 15, whatever the fuck, same shit. You bad on main. I wouldn't lie. Look, if you think that you finna really pimp on some or anything with a grown dude and somebody 13, look, 12 is the same thing as 14, GM. 14 is the same thing as 16, dead homies. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like all that is the same group, and I even see P's that been slipping and slide. Dead homies. I'm not. All I say is this. I don't like rapists. Dead homies. I just want to say that from GM. I don't like R's. Tianino. I don't like them at all. On L's. And I'm going to keep it real with you, gang. No matter if you did it or not, I
Facts.
On lanes, if you on the news for the crazy things on Jesus Christ, you're cooked. Because you
Facts.
gotta, especially in prison, on the streets, they on the streets, they doing the same thing. They high fiving each other. If you got a 14-year-old, I got a 16-year-old. Bad peoples, dead homies. In here, it's grumpy people. You got a weird old man. It's people. You got members that's pressing. As soon as we hear minor is bad for you, no matter who you is or what you did, you don't even got to do it. But if you came to jail for it, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go bad for you. And them type of bads is not the good bads. We're not whooping you out 501 and you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because look, it could be people, daughters and nieces and all that. I'm not talking about nobody or nothing. I'm saying on lanes, I'm seeing crazy things. I'm like, I'm giving y'all the response what's gonna happen on lanes. Period. I'm the one that's gonna tell you what's gonna happen. All them people on the streets, they just popping it. Dead homies. They don't know, they scared. They scared to get a write up anyways, and people's on the street. I'm telling you what's gonna happen with a sex offender coming to jail to this main line. To where I'm at. I don't know what's gonna happen if he run into them weirdos on L's. I'm saying if he come to the line on lanes, because I'm not the hardest person in the world, and I don't portray it. It's some members in here. If you come to the line with that, look, certain people. Look, I'm gonna say it like this: the people that's on the TV, they don't even gotta be proven guilty. They name. I'm not saying no. I'm not pinpointing nobody. I'm not talking about nobody. If you was just on that TV shit, your name 90% written in stone on L's. Damn, everybody saying, damn, that was the people's good people's. It's bad for him because they can let it slip and slide when he gets to the county bounty. But you hear on lanes is coming to the light on DLB 109th Street, yanking on you. Figaro fact, no cat, GM. Look, if you own that TV screen, dead homies with a name, and then after that comes 14 years old and 12 and 13-year-old, 16-year-old on the dead homies. We don't gotta have a reason on lanes. We don't want to hear if it's true or not. On dead homies, it just go bad for you. Period.
Period.
All other podcasters, they just gonna talk about what they think will do. Come here on lanes, anybody on the thing, or any little fosy for show. Now they slipping and sliding on these 2 yards, these 3 yards, for show slipping and sliding because they turning all of them to PC yards, like 50-50 yards. I'm not saying everybody there is a Zark, but I'm saying it's because people there.
Like he said, it's bad for you when you get up in there. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, this whack 100.
Where the media team, we got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go. You looking for that different shit. So, me at 48, I'ma keep it real. All I vaguely remember is the Olympic hoops on the freeway, but I can't even, and I'm 48. I was 7 years old the last time it was here. Now, I understand what that means that it's coming to the city. So take a mother 35 and under. Right? They wasn't even born. They don't even know what that is to understand that, boy, they finna start cleaning up. They ain't stopping because inner city LA is in its own little bubble, its own little world. They're not understanding that Fig, if you start at Olympic and Fig and work your way down past LA Live, Crypto Center, new condos going up, SC, they got new parks around SC, and now you start to hit the numbers, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and some of these main
Okay, get to the part.
But like Wax said, these kids is too young, and some of the ones that's old enough is too dumb to realize. The ones that's too dumb to realize probably think that they gonna make some money, thinking they gonna make money during that time, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, they're not even understanding it. Like, the last, like I said, the last time the Olympics was here, I was 7, right? And
So
it
they
was a
clean up
different
LA
thing
because the Olympics is coming.
as far as sending that National Guard up in there. Yeah, he finna shut that motherfucker. Like, no, the devil lays, all that shit is all. The same that's singing.
Rap News Street Politics, the best hood channel on YouTube. One way. But not only do they got the
Okay, no, we already heard that. That girl that I showed you, oh shit. That girl that I showed you, they say that PK4 was pimping her. That's why I showed you. This is Young Amp. This is Young Amp.
so what's being said is P4 is well, it ain't being said. We know that he was arrested on an indictment with the Hoovers, Lady Duck, and all the other guys. They on the indictment. There's like 31 counts, whatever they're ranging from. But what we do know for sure that one of the accounts is basically pimping and pandering and pimping of underage minors. Now, what they said about 7 minors, 8, 9 minors on the case is not one minor. So he's not being the only person alleged. A lot of people that was popping APs that's on that indictment is being alleged. Now, what I've caught wind of, and again, don't know if it's true, but it may have some substance to it. Y'all can go ahead and listen to what's being said, see what's being said, and assume your own position and or opinion. So this little girl, Nova, I didn't even know that was her name. I just called her Tania's daughter. So Nova, we all became familiar with Nova. Well, at least I know I did. Was about 6 months ago when the interview started circulating around of her on under her right belly being interviewed, and I was just like, whoa. And that's when the whole story started being spilled out to me of who her parents was, her origins, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And it was heartbreaking to see a 13, 14-year-old girl doing this interview and talking about how she's out there selling herself.
Right.
It's a tragedy.
Right.
However, I dropped the segment months back. I did a reaction to Respectable Rats. Respectable Rats was the first YouTube channel to drop the news of P4K being arrested and charged with pimping a minor. P4K shot back, hey, ooh, said what he said. I got locked up with the homies and this has happened. I ain't have no minor. I'm hoping that's the truth. No BS. But what's being said is that he was pimping on Nova. So for y'all that don't know who Nova is, we about to take a quick dive in to who Nova is. And y'all already know, man, it's the halfway, the half effect. We gon' commentate.
All right, Nova. Nova, so you are the daughter of someone that I've interviewed before.
Yeah.
One of the working girls.
Yes.
In South Central. Her name was Tania. She's been in the social media with all the drama life.
Yeah.
You're a part of that, right? Tell me what's going on in your life, because your story is pretty unique.
Oh,
so basically, what's going on in my life is my mom. When I moved with my mom, my whole life just like changed. And what I mean by change, I mean like my mom, she she showed me different stuff. Like before I got with her, I lived in Beverly Hills. I was with different people.
Who you
different
staying in Beverly Hills with?
With my grandparents.
Grandparents, okay.
First I stayed with my mom's mom, and then I moved with my great grandparents, my mom's mom. So when I moved with my mom, she started showing me different stuff. She moved me to the hood, the east side of LA, South Central.
And how old are you now?
13.
13.
All right, so bam. If you don't know, now you know. That's Nova right there. So
Yep.
Nova right now is 14, 15. Then she was 14 in this interview. She probably 15. This was a year ago, something like that. So this is what's being alleged. This is what's being claimed, and they saying this is who P4 was dealing with.
Yep.
P4 was dealing with her. Can't definitely stand for Kelly because we can't go for that because we know P4 know how old she was, and we know P4 know who she was. At least I do. If he is in fact guilty of this charge, this is alleged. We don't want to put no false advertising, content, nor allegations on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is what's floating around. We know he is locked up on that charge, and this is they saying, and this is who they saying the minor is.
Yeah.
Her origin is definitely out his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Her dad is out his neighborhood. I don't have to go into that, who he is and all that, but I'm pretty sure if he is and was pimping her, he definitely knew she was underage and knew what the deal was, man. And it's a cold game, man, and you can't respect game if that's what you was doing.
Fact.
I don't care what you was doing, how you was sliding, who you is, if you look at it like, oh man, well she was already in the streets. If I ain't do it, somebody was gonna do it. You should have let the other person do it.
Yep.
But with
Fact.
that being said, we gotta get off into
Figaro fact.
as of right now came from. You already know, man, it's the halfway to half effect. We gonna commentate.
The channel on Instagram made these claims.
Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button.